It is a rare event indeed for YouTube to have a good idea. It is rarer still for YouTube to actually act upon that idea, and it is virtually unheard of for YouTube to do it with alacrity. And yet, today, we have seen just such a historic event happen, with YouTube declaring that they will stop monetization of AI voices and reused content from July the 15th. That is not only a good idea, in part because it's my idea, but it is also a good idea implemented quickly before the problem is allowed to really balloon into an unstoppable one. Applause, YouTube. You've actually done very, very well with this. So let's get a little bit more into detail here, shall we? So this is specifically targeting AI content, it seems, as they say here. YouTube will begin demonetizing videos that rely on AI voices, repetitive templates, or faceless formats without real human input. Now, AI voices are obvious enough. If your video is voiced by an AI, that is a no-no and you are going to get the red marker. Now, admittedly, I do imagine a slight problem there in that some AI voices are really, really good. So it can actually be difficult to determine what is and isn't AI. In all due likelihood, it will be a case of an AI checking for other AIs, where YouTube will run a bot that goes, yeah, I think this is an AI voice, and flag it. And that bot will probably have some teething issues, so I wouldn't be surprised if a whole lot of people's videos get flagged initially for AI voices. Repetitive templates is also fairly simple. Those are the videos where somebody comes up with a concept that works and then simply does that concept ad infinitum. Think the Bigfoot vlogger videos, for example, where you have a video with Bigfoot doing something silly as a vlogger repeated 25 times. That will also now be demonetized. And faceless formats without real human input. This one's a bit vaguer, but I'm presuming things like virtually fully automated videos. So I was shown an example of this by Yanovich a few weeks ago of, I think, a Lord of the Rings lore video where the scripting was AI, the voice acting was AI, the editing and the imagery was also AI. All of it AI from beginning to end, except for the prompt, I suppose, and that would then probably fall under the third and final category, in addition to some of the previous ones. Now, why is this a good move? It's because it's one out of only two real moves that YouTube have here. YouTube's only options are to either ban AI content outright or demonetize it. Now, demonetizing it is a softer approach, but will largely achieve the same result, as very few people will continue to make AI content once the monetary incentive is gone. And the reason why they have to do this is because of the volume of it would absolutely ruin all social media platforms. Right now, even on a very small scale, with a handful of individuals doing this, it's already too much for the social media platforms to handle. I did a poll in the previous video asking, have you seen a marked uptick in AI comments? And everyone was like, yeah, no, massive, I am drowning in it. And that is just now, when somebody still needs to make the AI content by entering it into the prompt. As I talked about with Sargon on Stamford Bridge, I think last week, what will eventually happen, and we are weeks, and if not months tops away from this happening, which is why it is so important for YouTube to move quickly here, you will have an AI that scrapes social media for trends on that particular day. That AI will then take those top 12 trends, feed that into 12 different AIs that will then refine that trend into a prompt, and then each of those 12 AIs will feed that into another 12 AIs that will make renders and images of it, and with this chain, you will have a single person capable of producing thousands of videos a day if they so choose, with rendering time in the spans of like minutes to maybe an hour. The flood of content would be just overwhelming, and it would necessarily be so as well. As more and more people figured this out, there will be more and more AI content, and since the available market of people watching the content will be smaller and smaller because there's more and more of it to watch, and there's a smaller percentage chance that somebody will land on your content, the only way to counteract that is to produce yet more content in an endless feedback loop that would actually probably just overwhelm YouTube's servers at some point, and it would eventually drive the advertisers, well, dry. As, of course, advertisers need to buy advertisement slots on YouTube, right? Now, that means that there is a finite amount of ads. Now, that amount of ads is so enormously huge that normal YouTubers and people could not possibly exhaust it all. But if you add in things like one person producing 1,000 videos a day over 100 different channels, for example, oh yeah, that's different. That is a very, very different beast indeed. Not to mention the sheer amount of content already produced on YouTube is staggering. So, the options then was delete all of it or demonetize it. Now, demonetizing it will get rid of the overwhelming majority of people who were simply interested in gaming the system for a quick buck, as it was very, very appealing for quite a few weeks there, going, oh my god, this video got like 2 million views and it took like 5 minutes to produce? Holy shit. There were even I saw tutorials on Twitter from like 50 different accounts going like, I made $1 million in a weekend on this simple things. In and of itself, just AI generated clickbait content, basically, with the same tutorial repeated ad infinitum. This is how you do it, this is the software, and you'll make so much money. And each one of these had like a couple million views as well, of people going, oh my god, I can do this too. Oh Jesus, Once you demonetize it, though, you will remove the majority of that incentive. And here's the thing as well. This is not a perfect solution, as there are AI-generated video content channels that do actually put in a great deal of creativity in the production of their ideas, in the delivery of the idea itself, of the theme, etc., that probably don't deserve this. However, it has to be done this way. It has to be all or nothing because, again, with the quantity in question, you can't have somebody check this. Like, again, if we assume one person can generate 1,000 videos, which is a low number from what they can theoretically produce, mind you, a day, you're not going to have a YouTube employee checking those for creativity against some form of arbitrary standard. It would be literally impossible. You would have to design an AI to check the AI for creativity. Which, wow, Jesus, would put us in a little bit of a retarded position, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. So, and okay. If we avoid the full-scale ban, then at least there is the possibility of special appeals, right? Okay, let's say that you continue to make AI videos despite them being demonetized. You are making creative AI videos in an interesting format. Okay, let's say that after you've got been doing this for like a year or something, an arbitrary amount of time, right? Then you can send in an appeal to YouTube going, okay, listen, I've proven that I'm willing to stick with it. I've proven that I'm not going to just flood the algorithm with a bajillion, zillion, trillion videos, and I am actually putting in some effort. Could you monetize me? That I could see potentially working as a future addition to this, but for the moment, this is the best immediate solution. And the fact that YouTube implemented it so quickly, in all due likelihood, means that the flood of AI content that we saw, oh, it was the tip of the iceberg. Again, this is a company that has procrastinated and procrastinated for like a decade on their best idea, YouTube Premium, and just dragging their feet and not making it worth it, despite it being so easy to do so, despite it earning them so much money, etc., etc., reacting within like a month to this problem emerging. Their servers were taking a pounding, the likes of which you don't see in most mind-break hentai for them to react this quickly. I mean, this was the topic of boardroom meetings, with a dude with a pie chart showing, this is all content made throughout the entirety of history, and this is AI, 75% of the pie. That is what happened here, and I'm glad it did. This is the step in the right direction on our Butlerian jihad. We're going to probably require a couple more steps in all due likelihood, but I'm liking this as a start, and I'm hoping that we might be able to refine this position and policy in the future to allow for exceptions to the channels who actually genuinely do deserve it, at least in theory. But for now, good job, YouTube. I don't say that often, so good job, YouTube. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.